So today my main task is to create a bot just like regular people. I'm going to create an agent from nothing, and that's what I'm going to try to do. This one's about balances, so you should be able to find out how much vacation time you have left or whatever kind of balances you've assigned in your in whatever kind of system that you got. I'm going to be using a domain API that I created over the last couple of days, which basically is a functional aggregator of all the different possible source systems that we have out there, like, you know, Business World or whatever. So I'm trying to give you more play-by-play on how this goes, and hopefully we have some success today. Exciting! Okay, so it's first things first. I gotta figure out what my bot's supposed to do. So I'm looking at the work order that I got from my bosses, and the parts that I'm going to do today are pretty straightforward, I hope. A person should be able to say something along the lines of, how many days of fill in the blank with the kind of balance that you're looking for do I have left? And the other one is, what is my blank something type of balance, which is more or less the same thing. And I added one more. Someone may say, what kind of balances can I even look at? So I'll probably try to add that too. So now I know what I need to do, so I guess just time to do it. Okay, for all the real developers out there in Unit 4, there is a way to write unit tests for the bots that you will be making, and I would suggest that you always write your unit tests first. Well, not all of them, but at least write a test and then try to get it to work. So that NuGet package is called u4botbuilder.test. So u4.bot.builder.test. I'll probably put some sort of graphic below. Cool, bye. So I got an initial setup for my agent. I basically set up my test project in just a regular agent that has nothing in it. So now in order to really make a good test, I kind of need a Lewis application. My tests aren't going to actually rely on Lewis, but I just need to have something so I have realistic sort of results for an utterance. So I'm just going to make myself a little quick Lewis that should cover all my needs. Cool. Bye. Quick developer aside, so since I need to just create this Lewis application real quick, and I'm using the Lewis dashboard, treat your environments like cattle, not like pets. So I think every developer should probably just have their own set of environments that they use, specifically just for themselves, so they can muck about and not mess anybody else's stuff up. So I just had a thought about my task for today, and I'm trying to return like the amount of balances that you have for some specific type of balance. And I was thinking to myself, well, the utterances I was using were all asking how much I had left. And now I'm thinking, well, what if someone asks for how much have you used? So kind of like the inverse of that. So I think I'm gonna have to add a new intent type that sort of covers that aspect of, you know, the opposite. Not asking if the glass is half empty, but how much is left, or is it half full? That sort of thing. So it's been a few hours since the last video. I have the agent more or less set up. Right now I want to be able to link what a person says for a balance type to the balance type that's in whatever source system that they have. Since none of the source systems, as far as I know, have any actual lists or predefined lists of what those options are, we're going to use a Lewis to sort of fuzzy logic connect the front to the back. So basically, when I get a utterance, I'm going to take out the part that is supposed to be the balance type or balance option, and then I'm going to find some sort of common option that may exist in their source system. So I'm going to take whatever the results are from the source system as far as optional balance types are, and then join them together. So we'll see how this works. So this may be a new pattern that we can use for most agents, I guess, at least lots of agents, where users are able to define their own parameters. Cool. See how this goes. Okay, so what you're seeing now is just a Lewis definition. It's it's what Microsoft basically tells us to use as far as defining applications. And what I'm doing now is just defining 4 different sort of intents, which are gonna use those to categorize all the different ways of saying, like vacation, flexi time, overtime, and absence. And then I'm also adding in entities, which are which will also correspond. I usually like to use a 2-pronged attack to maximize potential. I'll probably add some more intents, which are like crossover intents, so like flexi time plus vacation or vacation plus overtime. I usually find that when you have multiple entities appearing in multiple different intents, this seems to hit better. So I'm gonna do some more experimentation, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. Hello, hello. It's February 27th today, 2017. I just got the agent pretty much all put together. Took me a bit longer than I thought I was going to, but along the way, you discover some new things that you want to try to do. Let me just recap what I was doing. I was creating a balance agent to basically get your different balance types. Since our system is so flexible, that means all of our customers have different setups for their balance options that they have available for their users. And since that's super flexible on that side, and plus on the other side you can pretty much say whatever it is that you want to say, mapping those two separate collections together will be kind of the biggest challenge of this whole bot. Since I don't know what those things are on either side, I basically have to make something that's magical almost. So I'm using Lewis to translate what the setup is on the customer side into a set of values, which I can also translate what the customer says into the same set of values, so that there's an intermediate step where you can say, oh, the customer says A, the computer knows B, okay, C is where they're going to meet in the middle, and yeah. So got it all worked out. I might be able to put something up in Azure so people can actually try out this section of the balance agent, but we'll see. Yeah, that's about it. It was a good experiment. I learned a lot. In the tool, I added some more features for being able to create more utterances more quickly. So since the balance types have like, let's say you have sickness, vacations, flexi time, and absences and things like that, then I basically created a Lewis which holds a bunch of different ways of saying each of those individual words, and then using that Lewis, I was able to define a new kind of template that you could use to create more utterances. I'll have some graphics in here so you guys can sort of see what that looks like. So basically, I was able to create maybe 200-300 different ways of saying, show me my blank balance type or whatever, in about 10-20 minutes, but it took a little bit to actually add all those features into the program that I built to do all that stuff. But I think it was totally worth the time just by hand writing that out, and then marking each of those utterances with all the right entity types would have been a real pain. So yeah, I think this might be a good pattern to use for super flexible systems like ours, where if you need to map one set of unknowns to another set of unknowns, you basically decide which categories you want to try to be able to define, and then you can allow the actual Lewis to do most of the heavy lifting. So in the future, if someone says, hey, we have a different kind or a new type of balance option or something like that, you can just add it to the system without having to change any code, because I don't have any hard-coded values for anything inside the agent. So it's as flexible as the rest of the system. So yeah, hopefully you guys get to see this soon. So cool. Thanks for all your time. This has been Andrew Porter, learning how to do a balance agent in the real world. Fun stuff.